Hello, Happy New Year's again, United States. This is Kareem on air.
All
Hope
right.
everybody's safe. Hope everybody had a good day. Hope you have a great weekend. Uh,
Yeah, and
let's get
yeah, welcome to Boxing and Celebrity Gossip. You know what I'm saying? Special guest Kareem. And we about to get into it. I'm just gonna go on some little, short celebrity gossip, let you know what's happening in the world today. Dr. Dre was released from the hospital today from a brain aneurysm. You know what I'm saying? Amen to that. I'm glad he's much better now because some people don't come back from that. All right, Kareem, let's get into it. About the Joshua versus Tyson Fury boxing match supposed to be this month. How you feel about that?
I really just don't think that the fight should happen right now. I believe that the fight should build and build and build because although $100 million is a lot of money, but a piece is a lot of money. But I believe that if that fight can make $100 million a piece, I believe that it can make more than that. I don't think they should fight right now. I think they should let it build. And also Joshua is really setting himself up to get penalized because really his mandatory is USAC for the WBO. So basically, he can go make $100 million and he can go make $100 million and he could forfeit, the fight with his mandatory, which is USAC. But then, soon after he lose a Fury, then he's gonna have to pay. He's gonna have to pay USAC, for not fighting him. So I believe that is just a bad ordeal. And another thing I want to say, as far as for Tyson Fury, I want to say that after he beats Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury has the rare opportunity to run off into the sunset and never have to fight another heavyweight name again. Because at that point, that means he had beat all the heavyweights that had a name. He beat Klitschko, he beat Dante Wilder twice, and now he's going to beat Joshua. It's nothing else to fight for. I wouldn't give Joshua a rematch. I would go ahead and I would retire after this, and I would just walk away on top of the world. Yeah, of course, everybody wants to be Rocky Marciano. Yeah, of course, everyone, they wants to walk away and at 50-0 or pass Floyd or however they dream or whatever their desire is. But I honestly ask this question: when is fighters are going to wake up and decide to be smart? When are they going to wake up and try to set their own trend? And right now, Tyson Fury has a chance to walk away with all the belts at one time, which that's never been done before. So to retire on top of the world undefeated as undisputed champion of the world, that'll be bigger than boxing right there. And I believe that Tyson Fury should do so.
Well, Tyson Fury, probably get bored, want to go back and snort that cocaine again. And cocaine habits are expensive. So, me myself, I doubt if he's just gonna fight that fight and want to retire. So, I think that, and then I think with him and Wilder, they fought twice. They called the first fight a draw. So, they might as well have the rubber match and, saying break the, go ahead for the third time. That's what I think. And like I said, you gotta have it. You gotta support the habit. If he retires, he's gonna be broke in probably a few months because he got a cocaine habit.
Mm. Well, yeah, I don't want to. Let me see how I say this. I want to say this because I don't want to sound disrespectful or whatever. But I just say that, you know, I didn't know about that part about Tyson Fury. I knew he was overweight and that he kind of fell down on his luck for a minute, you know. But I didn't know about the news that you're sharing with me now.
Oh yeah, I thought you been know about that. You know, most people they joke
Nah,
about it all the time. They call him
nah,
a drug addict. And
nah. I'm being honest. I didn't know about it. Had I would know about it, I'd have been saying something about it. But yeah, I didn't know that part about it. But and however, you know, I don't know if that's true. So that's why, you know, I won't speak on it because I really don't know if that's true.
well, he tested
And
positive for cocaine when he got you know, when he went on that hiatus and was gone from the sport for a minute.
oh yeah,
Yeah, and
oh
was
okay, yeah, I
wilding
know
out and
that.
everything at the time.
Well, you know, whatever he did or didn't do, I mean, hey, you know what? That's his personal life. That's on him. Hey, you know, that's something that he has to answer to God for because, as God said, you know, we're renting this body we in. We're renting it right now. You know, we are to protect and to take care of God's temple. You know, our body is God's temple and property. You know what I mean? We wouldn't have this outside or inside if it weren't for God. So, however,
Okay.
I would like for him to go ahead and if he's gonna fight Joshua, if he's gonna fight Joshua now or later, I would just say let it build some more. But if, to me, if it's that much of a rush, then yeah. If you're gonna fight him now for 100 million, then yeah. Just make sure, man, that you beat him. Don't let it go to distance. Stop him or knock him out. And then after that, Tyson Fury, walk away on top. Because all the boxing world wants to see now is for Tyson Fury to lose. The boxing world is so it's just so crooked, man, that the boxing world will build you up, build you up, build you up, and then as you go on to keep winning, now they tired of seeing you win, and now they want to see you lose. This has been going on for the 80s of time. You know, I don't want to see Tyson Fury end up being an old, washed-up heavyweight with a loss on his record or two losses on his record, and now, you know, he's just, you know, a fighter now that the boxing world is going to talk about him bad and run him down and going to run him down to dirt. They're not going to talk about, you know, his rise to victory and stardom. You know, they're going to talk about when he lost and when he lost. So I would like to see him break the tide and be the one to say, okay, enough is enough. I beat all the ones they said couldn't be beat, and now I'm gonna walk away undefeated.
Well, he could walk away because you know he's getting a good payday. They're estimated to make $100 million a piece. You know that's enough money for a person to walk away and live life. You know, what I'm saying comfortable. So he could do so, and he's saying that he ain't never fighting Wilder again. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, because it's no point. I mean, why? I mean, he beat him the first time. They said it was a draw. As I said in the first video that me you did, that Wilder only won those 2 rounds when he knocked Fury down twice. Other than that, Fury beat him 10-2, and Fury should have been awarded the decision over Wilder. And so in the second fight, Fury made it clear. Fury outboxed him, but except this time Fury transformed himself to a boxer puncher. And he pressed Wilder, put the weight on him. He went to his body and he backed Wilder up and he stopped Wilder. I don't see a point for a third fight. Because I mean, fight Wilder for a third time for what? I wouldn't fight him for a third time. Wilder didn't show me any respect for itself. Wilder showed me that, hey, oh, I'm a child. Soon I can't get my way. I'm gonna start making excuses. I'm a fire Mark Breland. I'm gonna fire my team. I want Floyd to train me now. Tyson Fury did something to the gloves and woo, 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 woo. I'm like, oh my God. I say, come on, Deontay Wilder. What you trying to give? What you trying to get, a award or something there? For the most excuses. I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, man. These fighters out here, they have a lot of excuses, man. And it's one more fighter. It's one fighter from DC who I do want to talk about, maybe in this meeting that we have now, or maybe in another meeting later on down the road. But it's this one fighter from DC that I definitely want to talk about. That he has 1,000,001 excuses, but let's just stick with.
Oh, we can talk about them in the middle of the show. Let's get through some of the topics. Let's get through some of the topics. And we're gonna cook tonight. We're gonna, you know what I'm saying? So, how you feel about Sergey Kovalev fight being canceled due to a positive drug test?
Okay, with Sergey Kovalev positive drug test, you deserve what you get. And I want to say that if I was the commissioner or whoever, it's the commissioner to go to, because it don't go in front of a judge. It go in front of a commissioner. The commissioner has the power to ban you for life or ban you for a certain amount of time. Punishment that is sufficient enough for what you did, as far as you're trying to use performance enhancers, or banned substance, or whatever they want to call it, for trying to cheat, basically. I think it's time that instead of giving Sergey Kovalev a little bit of time away or a year suspension and this, that, and the other, I really and truly believe that they should go ahead and just put him away for life. I think they need to go ahead and just ban him from boxing altogether, and so that way he'll never be to fight again nowhere all over the world. Because as long as y'all keep suspending, as long as they keep suspending people for 6 months, year, 2 years, that's not enough to really learn nothing.
Yeah, it's not really a punishment.
That's not really a stinger right there. I think he need to be made an example. I think they should use him and make him the example that if you violate the rules of boxing, that you will be suspended for life. And as I said back in the past, they should have suspended Lamar Peterson for what he did, when he was dirty, when he fought Amir Khan, and they came back and took the belt from him and everything else, you know what I mean? So I was hoping that they would have made an example out of him, but they didn't. But they, of course they punished him, but it wasn't enough. Same thing with a whole lot of other fighters who they got caught, who they caught them doing stuff wrong, But nevertheless, I say that Sergey Kovalev should be the one that they make an example out of, and they should ban him for life.
Well, they should, or at least, he already, I don't know how old he is. He look old. I'm thinking 38. I don't know. Might be 50 years old. But anyway, they should, if not ban him for life, start suspending these guys for 5 years. That way, that takes away a lot of their youth. and then they will be
but
inactive.
5 years. I mean, I gotta be honest, man. If I was commissioner who made that decision on whether you want me to fight again, I would just go ahead and meet. I would just bang you all around the board. I would make it so you want me to fight again ever again in your life.
Oh, that'd be good, and that way that'll take all that cheating out of the game,
Yeah.
because people's lives are already at risk, and then they take these steroids and become even stronger and put people's lives more at risk.
And you know what I want to, and I'm gonna tell you what else I want to add to this. All because we finally just now caught you, and you finally came up dirty. I would be sitting back thinking. I would be sitting back with your fate in my hand. I would be sitting back thinking, how many other times that you used performance enhancers and it just didn't come up dirty? I would think about how many other times you did this and you didn't get caught. I would think about all that, and I would go ahead and be like, you know what, I'm gonna ban you for life. Yeah, I wouldn't care what color you is. I wouldn't care what religion you are. I wouldn't care what you believe in or what you don't believe in. You could be a Muslim, you could be a Christian, you could be a Jehovah's Witness, you could be a Rastafarian, etc. I would ban you. I would put you away for life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, moving forward. Canelo Alvarez is fighting again, but he's not fighting nobody that we know.
Yeah, and so being though he's not talking to nobody of significance, then I think there's no point in talking about Canelo Alvarez. I think it's time to move on to the next subject because, until he faces Andrade or
one of the Charlo brothers.
Or Billy Joe Saunders, fight somebody he ain't fought yet. Until he fight one of them, then basically he's nothing to talk about, man. I'm sick of because his name is Saul Alvarez. It's not Canelo. His first name is Saul, so I'm gonna call him Saul. I'm so sick of Saul and and all the hype and celebration about him and and all this stuff that's coming with him now because he think he's the Mexican Floyd Mayweather or somebody. He wants to make all these weights 167. He fought Chavez Jr. at 167. He wants to sue everybody. He wants to dictate everything that's going on, and he just yeah. You know what? Let's move on to a subject with some substance. How about
Canelo
Alvarez? I'm gonna just say this. Talking about Canelo Alvarez. To me, it's like talking about a dude on. It's like talking about a dude standing on these DC corners, man. That's how low he is right now, and I don't want to talk about it.
All right, moving forward. WBC orders a mandatory defense. Gary Russell Jr. versus Ray Vargas. Ray Vargas, I've never seen him fight before, but he is 34-0 with 22 knockouts. What do you think about that fight?
Well, I don't know too much about Ray Vargas. I have to study Ray Vargas. I have to look at his resume. I have to look at his amateur background. I have to find out who his trainers is and managers is and who is all behind him and everything he has accomplished. And, before his name just came across my desk through you. And as soon as I find out about him, I'll be able to have a fair and intelligent conversation about him. But for right now, I just say, as far as him and Gurr, it's been a lot of fights that's supposed to happen with Gary and Devin, Gary and Javante and Gary and a lot of people. So I'll just say this. If the fight happened between Gary and Ray Vargas, hey, it's a beautiful thing. I would love to see it. But for right now, because we don't know if it's going to happen, I would say, man, let's move on to the next subject, man.
All right. Austin De La Hoya wants Ryan Garcia to face Manny Pacquiao. What do you think about that?
I think that's, again, a subject that personally is just ridiculous, man. It's nonsense. Why would you put a young man in there with a 13 or 15-time world champion in 8 different weight classes? The oldest man to ever win the welterweight title. Why would you put him in there with Pacquiao? Like, why? I mean, man. That's just crazy. Again, De La Hoya is trying to build the next De La Hoya, and he's going to set that little man up for failure, man. I mean, it's not even worth it, man. That's not even worth it, man. It's not worth it. It's stupid, man. I don't even understand that.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to get a big money grab. Like I say, he'll get Pacquiao in that boy's career. I just think the fight that makes sense.
You setting them up.
Will be,
man, you know that fight,
Ryan Garcia versus Javante Tank Davis. I think that makes sense.
It does. It makes sense. I believe that, and I believe that he'll destroy Javante. I believe that Devin Haney will destroy Javante. I believe that Shakur Stevenson will destroy Javante. Even though I don't like Shakur Stevenson or Javante, I mean, if either one of them fight each other and lose, it would be a win-win for me because I can't stand each one of them.
Okay, well, they say Shakur Stevenson, I thought that him and Gary Russell would be a good fight, but I heard, saying that in several spawn sessions, Gary Russell gave him the business. So, and he ain't saying that he ain't responding back to it. So I guess, Gary got out on him a couple times in spawn. So I don't think that fight will ever happen. Not right now. Gary's 32. Maybe when Gary turns about 37. So, but moving forward, what you think about Keith Thurman? The offer was back on the table. Keith Thurman versus Terrence Bud Crawford, but they tried to lowball Keith Thurman once again, offering $1 million. So he told Bob Byrne he's not going to lowball him, but he'll punch him in the face for $1 million. What you think about that?
Say it again.
I said that Keith Thurman, the offer was once on the table again because it was on the table at first, some months back for him to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. He asked for $10 million, priced himself out. They moved on for Kell Brook. Now this time around, the offer was back on the table. Bob Byrne tried to lowball him, offering $1 million. He told Bob Byrne that he's not going to lowball him and he'll punch him in the face for the $1 million.
And you know what? I respect Keith Thurman for his decision to not be lowballed. However, I think Keith Thurman need to watch what he say because he is a professional and he don't want to end up in no type of entrapment and end up getting sued for threats or end up being pressed charges against for threats or end up being suspended from boxing for threats. Because at the end of the day, even though he's probably being sarcastic and funny, but with everything that's going on and all the stuff that's going on right now with COVID and all the stuff that's going down as far as presidency right now and everything like that, everything right now, is taken serious. So I respect Keith Thurman for his stance. I wouldn't accept it either. If I'm not getting to what I demand to get, then okay, you won't see me in the ring then. I mean, Keith Thurman, he can look at it like this. He's from Clearwater, Florida. He's the biggest thing that ever came out of Clearwater, Florida. He was a unified welterweight champion. He beat Sean Porter. He beat Diego Chavez. He beat Danny Garcia. Let me see. He beat a lot of names out there. And, he has nothing to hold his head down about. I mean, he can walk over to the sunset and he can hold his head up high. And I wouldn't let nobody disrespect me and send me in the ring for $1 million. I wouldn't do it. So if I was Keith Thurman, I'd just walk away. And I wouldn't even worry about it, And, again, they're going to call Keith Thurman. All Keith Thurman got to do is stay in shape. Eventually, they're going to call him. They're going to be kissing his ass. And then they give him the offer that he wants. Simple as that.
Okay. So, how do you feel about Manny Pacquiao's next opponent is either going to be Conor McGregor or Earl Spence Jr.?
Conor McGregor, Conor McGregor, yeah, of course. We already seen that, he was selling his soul, man, for the almighty dollar. but at the end of the day, though, he sold his soul for a high bargain when he fought Flo. He made $175 million. He made more money than Sugar Ray, Tyson, all the big names, and Floyd. He made more money in his first fight than all the big names ever made in goddamn 10 fights. So yeah, he definitely smashed all records with his first fight. He sure did. But at the same token, now we're talking about him and Pacquiao. I truly believe, man, that Pacquiao can beat him. And I know Pacquiao can beat him. But if this fight go the distance, they are going to give it to Conor McGregor. You can believe that they're going to rob Pacquiao of his legacy. You can believe that behind the curtains, it's discussions about making Conor McGregor a huge boxing star. Somehow, some way, they try to build Conor McGregor. And if they can set it up for him to win against Pacquiao in his second pro fight, and on top of that, he will have a record of 1-1. And in his second pro fight, he can become a world champion. Man, do you know how big that would be? They really could sell Conor McGregor to the boxing public and turn them into a huge superstar off Pacquiao. And they can use his fight with Floyd as a way to promote him. Because they can say he came off the porch. He came off the porch and he fought the greatest fighter of this earth for his first pro fight. That took tremendous courage. That took tremendous heart. Although we all know that, that them fighting Floyd, it wasn't a bad risk because Floyd is a complete boxer. Floyd is not a brawler. Floyd is not somebody that's trying to hurt you in the ring. Floyd is trying to outbox you. So it wasn't a big risk for him to fight Floyd, but it's just the whole point that he called on Floyd, which was a bold challenge for his first fight off the porch. So, and then if he turn around and just so happened to beat Pacquiao that night, that'd be huge, man. So yeah, I admire Conor's heart and courage. I want to see it. If the fight really happens, I want to see it. But beat Pacquiao, I want to see him go on to become a great name in boxing. And I would like to see him fight all the other guys. All the other names that we mentioned. Earl Spence, Sean Porter, Terrence Crawford. You know, I want those guys, man, will give him a shot. I hope, man, that he will be the new kid on the block that will get his chance too, and all the names. But I guess this will come with who's going to be training Conor McGregor. Who's going to be his coach? Is he going to get a Freddie Roach? Is he going to get one of the Mayweathers? Train him?
What's up, Dave? Keep on going out here.
Will he get like a Ronnie Shields or Andre Rozier or Danny Jacobs trainer? You know, who's going to be that coach that is going to be able to school him and bring him on through the ranks? So, we'll see. And I'll just leave that right there.
Okay. He said put the number in the description. I'm falling back today and put the number in the chat. Yes, I got to figure out, Dave. You know, I'm still new to this.
And before I go forward, I want to pay respect, and I want to apologize for my language when I said the word kiss A when we were talking about Keith Thurman situation. I want to apologize for saying that. I didn't mean to say that. I just want to say that I would like to rephrase that language, and I want to say it again. I want to say that Keith Thurman, his phone will be ringing. They'll be calling him. And if it's not the dollar amount that Keith Thurman sold his eye, then I wouldn't get near you. And I'll just leave that right there. As far as Keith Thurman.
Okay. Still here. I'm just responding back to David Thomas in the comments. He's asked me what's the number so he can tune in. And I'll put you. Wait a minute. I'll let you put the number on the screen. Okay. Let's put the number on the screen. Give me a second. Yeah, you can continue. I'm still here. I'm just responding back to some of the comments. The comment section. Kareem.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, still here. So yeah, going into what you was wanted to talk about earlier. We're supposed to talk about it in the middle of the show.
Which topic you talking
about? Earlier you was like we were supposed to talk about somebody fighting from DC or something like that, and I say, let's get through the you know what I'm saying, the show when we go on it, you know what I'm saying, you can cook on that in the middle of the show.
Yeah, man. It's a fighter by the name of Marcus Bates. He lost twice, and the person who destroyed him twice is a great 122-pounder named Ryan Salim. Man, he is a great fighter. He is a great man. Me and my wife, we met him personally. he's a good person, man, and and I believe, man, that he's going to take the boxing world by storm, especially the 122-pound division. He fight next Saturday on the 23rd. He fights a guy named Pasales from California. Pasales is 16-0, and Ryan Saline is 17-0. Ryan Saline, he destroyed Marcus Bates for the WBA Eliminator, and he became the guy, as far as that weight and to take on the next big challenge. So, boxing fans, I want to say, be on the lookout for Ryan Saline next Saturday. If you've never seen him fight before, if you've never heard of him, this Saturday is your chance to witness greatness. Now,
and what network is he fighting on? Like, you
Showtime,
say fighting next week?
Showtime. Yeah, Showtime. Yeah. And so now I want to talk about the man that Ryan Saline destroyed, which is Marcus Bates. He destroyed him twice. The first time when he beat Marcus Bates, he then wants to come up with, I was great up until I drunk the water. I wish I wouldn't have drunk the water. I believe, man, that my water was sabotaged. So then he turned around. Then he turned around. He fought Rice the second time, and Rice destroyed him again. And this time he wanted to complain about his arm. So I think in the 9th round he came back to his corner, telling his corner man, "My arm, look." He tried to whisper it, but what he don't know is that these TV circuits today are so sophisticated. Us viewers watching on TV even heard when he was whispering. He went back to the corner talking about, "My arm," and so his corner man say, "Yeah, man, I know it, man." He said, "Man, but are you still able to fight?" "My arm, yeah, I know you talking about your arm, but can you still continue to fight?" And so referee came over there, whatever said what he said, and then he went ahead and came over for another round. He got caught. He got caught with a body shot, and then as soon as he got caught with a body shot, it hurt so bad, he turned his back to Rice and tried to run, and Rice caught him again, Joe, with a left hook. You know what I'm saying? Caught the left hook on the side of the chin, and then he went up against the ropes, and then the referee stopped it. And soon the referee stopped it, he gonna throw his arm up in the air, Thomas, and start holding his arm. I'm saying to myself, though, you got caught to the body and you got caught to the chin. Why you grabbing your arm? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just sick of the excuses, man, with these fighters, man. And I had to bring that point up, man. If you can't accept loss, then you don't need to be in the game. But if you're gonna lose, don't make an excuse. Just say I lost the fight. I mean, the world will respect you more. I would respect you more if you say you lost the fight. Because if you want to look at yourself in the mirror the next day and brush your teeth, knowing that you made an excuse, then, hey, I mean, yeah, I just can't believe it. And then on top of that, he took a fight that he wasn't ready for anyway. It was COVID season going on. A lot of gyms were closed. You could tell that he hadn't been trained. You could tell that he was washed up for this fight. He only fought an 8-rounder, and you get a call to fight on a full-fledged Showtime event, and you hadn't even fought on Showtime Next Generation yet. You hadn't even got a win on Showtime Next Generation, and once or twice, you hadn't even graduated from Showtime Next Generation yet, and then you gonna come from an 8-rounder. So you gonna come out your living room, get a call for a 12-round fight against a man who already beat you up in an 8-round. So excuses don't live here. The truth is, you set yourself up. You shouldn't have took a 12-round fight that you weren't ready for. Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So,
I think David wanted to click in with us on the line, but I was telling him David the real Thomas. He leaving comments. It's one of my homies.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Yeah, he want to click in with us on the line, but I don't know
What do you think?
what number to call from the click in. Nah, I just said salute, you know what I'm saying, put a number in the chat. You know how like some of the other boxing outlets, you know, like Blue Blood Sports and TV and people like that, they got a number, you know, they can call and bring the people to the chat or whatever, more people. And I was just trying to tell them I'm still new on learning how to do this. So I really don't know how to do it yet. I don't see the number up there. I'm how to, you know, make the thing. So that way, you know what I'm saying, we can all be in the chat debate. So, but for now, Dave, you're going to have to just leave comments in the comment section, and we're going to respond back to you until I learn how to fully work this thing. Or you might be able to call me or something, and I click you in like that. But I got to learn how to...
Hey, man, but did you understand my point, though, man, about what I'm saying about excuses?
Well, you know, many fighters make excuses, so, you know, they're always going to be around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm just tired of that, though. I mean, I believe it should be a penalty if you make an excuse.
Mm.
You know, I believe excuses should follow slandering somebody's character, saying that somebody sabotaged your water. You know, in the first excuse. Then the second excuse was, you know, man, you want to grab your arm and all this about your arm. Your arm is injured, man. You got caught to the body and the chin all night long. How was your arm injured?
What about they say that he wore that heavy suit and he said that took all his energy?
Oh yeah. But you talking about Don said, wow, yeah. Oh yeah. You know, I'm glad you bring it up. Yeah. First it was a heavy suit. His mind. Now, first it was his mind wasn't right. He was going through a lot before the fight. Then you know, man, the suit. Then it was the coach. You know, you want to fire the coach. You know, this, that, and this, that. I mean, he just got 1,000,001 excuses, man. I don't think Fury should give him a third time. If Fury was smart, I wouldn't. They're gonna try to rob Fury of his legacy, man. Fury has a chance. Fury has a chance to walk away as the true heavyweight champion of any era.
Well, without being biased, you know that he signed a contract for a rematch when he took the fight. But that was he only had to honor if it was you know, if they fought last year.
Yeah.
Instead of so now the year has passed due to COVID-19, and you know, he can kind of like get away from it.
Oh yeah, I know. But if I was about, and I wouldn't let them try to send me another contract to fight him. I wouldn't fight him no more at all, man. I would stay away from Deontay Wilder. You know, and after I beat Anthony Joshua, I would stay away from him. Let me see who else. I wouldn't fight Usyk. I wouldn't fight Andy Ruiz. I wouldn't fight no more heavyweights. I would, because I would feel like I already beat the three main heavyweights who they said that I couldn't beat, and he did that back to back. So it would be no point.
What about the fans keep talking, saying about the glove situation? That the parent was taken out, and
But you know, as I said before, though, man, you know, if it's all about some gloves and this, that, then you know what? If Deontay Wilder feel like he was cheated, hey, take it to court. I mean, hey, you can always go file a motion in court saying that you want this to be tried in court. You feel like if you feel like something was wrong with it, you should have pointed that out in the ring. Like the movie that I watched called Assault in the Ring. That coach who just passed away. Hold on, I'm about to tell you his name right now. It has something to do with a boxer named Billy Collins. Billy Collins, I think he was either 18 or 19 and 0. And he fought what's that guy's name? I'm about to tell you right now. Man, my Facebook got like it ain't trying.
Oh, I don't think David heard your name. You said the name of the fighter. Oh, that's I got Kareem online. I don't know if you want me to say his whole name, but I got Kareem online.
No, I don't need it. We don't need that. Just my first name. That's it.
Yeah, I guess I got Kareem online though. That's his name. I had it in the. I had it on. Oh, the fighter. He wants to know the name of the fighter, the one you want us to watch. The guy.
Oh yeah.
You're talking about. What's his name?
Salim. He's undefeated, 17-0, and he's a super bantamweight. He fights 122 pounds.
Okay.
Yep.
You got that? Why ain't Salim? He probably gonna look him up now.
Yeah. He fights 122 pounds. I can tell y'all right now, man, in my opinion, and anybody's opinion who watches him, man, he is the face. He is the new face of boxing. I'm telling you, man. He is going to defeat a lot of them, man. I'm telling you. He's going to beat a lot of them.
So what's his amateur background?
His amateur background, I can't think of. I had the number. I can't think of it right now. But I can tell you this much though.
You said Fanine or Celine?
Aline, man. Aline. Yeah.
Waheen, yeah. Aline,
man.
Aline.
Raees, Aline.
David Real Thomas said that Shakur is the next face of boxing.
Doubt it. I doubt it, sir. As long as Shakur Stevenson can keep paying for slots, he'll stay undefeated. But the moment that he can't pay for slots, and the moment that the business, the other side of the table is bigger, it's just as big as this side of the table. And tables are turning. We're going to see Shakur. We're going to all witness.
Say nobody beating Shakur Stevenson.
Okay, but you know what then? Hey man, you know what then? I ain't really get on air to go back and forth about Shakur Stevenson, but I'm gonna just say this right here: Shakur Stevenson is not the future. Shakur Stevenson is not going to walk away undefeated, and Shakur Stevenson is not going to be the next Mayweather. He's not going to be the next Sugar Ray and all those people who he said he want to be like. He's not going to come nowhere near those guys, and I'm gonna just leave that right there.
He said you're wrong on that part. Well, Shakur Stevenson, he has all the skills to, and then he went to the Olympics and almost
Okay,
won the whole thing for a reason. The
okay,
guy, the guy that he lost to, he already lost. I think it was his first or second fight as a pro.
okay.
The guy that beat him, and
Yeah,
he getting some real good work and spawn and everything. And he got all the skills. He's around Andre Ward and Bud
okay.
Crawford, and it's really at his weight. He a monster at that weight though.
Yeah, because there's nobody in that weight, and on top of that, he can pay for slots. So of course he's like
He
that right now.
he said Shakur got a belt at 126.
Hey, but the question is he the real champion of that weight, or is he an abstract champion?
Mm.
Yeah. Is he the literal champion at that weight? Oh, okay.
You hear him, David Thomas?
But yeah. But I ain't trying. I'm not trying to waste time talking about Shakur. What's the next subject at hand? Reed?
Well, we done just about ran through everything, So, I'm done on mine. It's up in the air. Whatever y'all want to talk about.
Okay.
Say
Well,
he's at 130.
I want to talk
Got
about.
him unifying at 130. Say he
I
unifying.
want to talk about the bum Javante Davis. I want to talk about his behavior outside the ring. This is something that fans need to know who they're rooting for. Sometimes us fans, sometimes we miss news. Sometimes we can't always keep up with the news. Sometimes we be too tired to watch the news. Sometimes the news end up watching us because we'll fall asleep. Or a lot of us, are sophisticated enough to have the news app on our phone and keep with the news like that. I know I got the news app on my phone. I keep with the news. But sometimes I don't get a chance because I'll be working or I'll be too tired, to catch the news the next day. But what I will say is this. Javante Davis, let me see. Where can I start at? Okay.
Do you think Javante Davis will beat Shakur Stevenson at day 4 at 130?
I personally don't think so. But you know what? If either one of them lose to each other, it's a win-win for me because I can't stand either one of them. And I'm going to tell you straight like that. I despise both of them. Period. So
Yeah,
So you know what I'm saying? Because personally, I don't like people who bully people, and I don't like people who beat up. I don't like people who beat up on people for nothing. I don't like people who put their hand on innocent people, and especially people who put their hand on women. I don't like this shit. So excuse my French, and again, but I don't like people who put their hand on women, and people who just beat up on people for nothing. People who are defenseless, who can't beat you, but you're gonna beat them up. You're gonna beat up on them for nothing. So anyway, like I was saying,
So you want to talk? You want to elaborate on that situation? They
Oh yeah. I'm gonna do it right now. So look, he beat up on his child's mother. Okay, here you go. You out here chasing all Floyd's old women, old leftovers. You out here cheating, 90 going north. And you had a nerve that because your child's mother decided to move on with her life and she went out and had her good time. I guess, you get a whiff of it. And you come to where she at some game and you're going to walk up in public in a broad daylight and you're going to grab her around her neck with both of your hands, with both of your male hands. You're going to grab her around her neck, choke her, hold her up in the air by her neck, and going to drag her around the corner and was beating on her and all this stuff. I mean, come on. I mean, really? And you want to call yourself a pound for pound best? You want to call yourself a world champion? You want to call yourself?
They say that
wanna,
was
you want to call yourself the next heir apparent and the next Floyd Mayweather? Man, get out of here with that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what? Your behavior outside the ring, man, it's going to cause you to be the next Adrian Broner. It's going to cause you to be the next pound for pound jailbird. That's what it's going to cause you. So, man, I mean, I couldn't believe this when I saw this video with my own eyes, man. Reek, I'm gonna tell you, Reek, when you watch it, I don't know if you've seen the video, but I'm gonna send it to you with your phone, man. When you watch this video, man, you ain't gonna believe this with your own eyes. You're gonna be like, man, what was he thinking? What is the thought process? And then on top of that, he was in Florida when he did it, of all places.
Was the woman? You said the woman was his baby mom and wasn't a female he used to date, like a random girl.
It was his baby mother.
Okay.
It was his baby mother. I wouldn't care if it was a random girl they used to date. You don't put your hand on a woman, period. I don't care what label she holding. I don't care if she a side piece. I don't care if she a mistress. I don't care if she an old girl, ex-girl, baby mother, ex-wife. You don't put your hand on a woman. You don't put your hand on a woman, period. I don't care what label she wear, man. So, you know, he put his hand on her the way he did. And you did it in broad daylight, and you shouldn't do it behind closed doors either. But you just showed me that, yeah, you have no respect for yourself or women. And you, man, just are out of control. And your behavior is poor by doing it. You know what I'm saying? In my eyes. So, and I guess the part that gets me is, why would anybody still want to manage him? Why would anybody still want to train him? And why would Floyd and them even want to deal with him after he did something like that? Like, for real, like man, what are y'all representing? Are y'all training? Are y'all representing somebody to make y'all look bad? Or are y'all representing somebody who got good behavior that's going to make y'all look good? So if it was me, I wouldn't train him no more. I wouldn't manage him no more. In fact, I would have sent him a release for my contract the same night. I would have signed my name and I would email it to him and say, I'm no longer your manager or promoter or trainer, never again. I'll be done with him. I'm going to say this. Anybody the person that's training him right now, which is a guy named Calvin.
What's Calvin?
You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever he is, whatever he used to be, all that don't even matter to me. I don't care nothing about that. What I want to say is this. If you was any kind of man, if his team was any kind of men, for real, they wouldn't support or want to show face or deal with somebody like that. Period. I wouldn't want to show face in public. I wouldn't even want my name mentioned with him. And yeah, that's something to think about, Reek. Women are the greatest at saving their face. Us men, we should be the same way.
I got a comment in the comment section. They asked about, were you talking about Tank snatching somebody up at the basketball game, or was this a different situation?
I already said it already, man. So I tell you what, tell them, man, you know what I'm saying, just follow what I'm saying. Because I'm not going to go back and repeat. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I already said what I said, right? And all they got to do is clearly listen to what I'm saying, and they can reach understanding. And all they got to do is follow. That's it.
Okay.
I mean, you know, and I ain't trying to be sarcastic or nothing. I'm just saying. I don't let it repeat myself, man. You know, I already said it in a way where it could be understood when all you gotta do is just clear and listen to what I'm talking about. So I'm about to move on. Because it just pisses me off every time I think about that situation. Because I'm like this. If the NFL to ban the Baltimore Ravens running back for putting his hand on his wife on the elevator and never let him play football again, then why can't boxing ban some of these fighters for behaving poorly outside the ring? That's why I say I wish I was a commissioner. I wish I did have that type of power, and I wish that was my job to determine your fate. That I'm the commissioner of that sport, because, man, you know, I would be sure to finish you, and that you would never fight again for your behavior out the ring, because you're a professional, whether you're in the ring or out the ring. The same thing with Shakur Stevenson and that guy dating. You know, the way they jumped that man and that woman that day out there in Florida. What was professional about that? Their behavior that day was poor. I didn't like it. That's not fair. And again, y'all beat up on a woman. A woman was being hit and slammed down and stomped. And the man was totally innocent. Y'all beat them up for nothing. And I don't care what the situation was. I don't care what it stemmed from. I don't care how it started. I don't care if I'm only just seeing just a video. The fact is, if you're a professional boxer, or like you say you are, you need to be a professional outside the ring too. I believe, man, that it should be a penalty in all the sports for their behaviors, man. I don't care if it's basketball. I don't care if it's football, boxing, soccer. You know, you should be penalized for your behavior outside the sport. And that's all I got to say about that part. You know, I don't care who feelings I hurt by saying this. I don't care who nerves I stung by saying this. I don't care who didn't like the fact that I said this. You know, that's something that they just have to get over.
Some of the viewers want to know about how you feel about Sergey Kovalev. He kicked the dog, broke the woman's nose, and what else he do?
Sergey Kovalev
messed her neck up.
Yeah, Sergey Kovalev.
And got probation. How you feel about that situation?
Sergey Kovalev, he should have got probation. He should have got more than that. You know, he should have got the maximum penalty. He should have been placed in prison for a long period of time, instead of some probation. Probation is not enough. When I look at it like this, when you're the judge, You must look at it like I would look at it like this. I was a judge. If you got that much sense, no, I'm gonna say it like this: if you're that intelligent, and I'm being sarcastic right now, if you're that intelligent to put your hand on a woman and beat her up, and what else he did? He kicked the dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And messed her neck up.
Yeah.
And got
so listen, if you're that intelligent to commit harm on an animal and a woman, then you are intelligent enough to accept the maximum penalty that I'm going to give you for your behavior. And then, you know, the commissioner of the sports you in, they should go ahead and ban you for life too.
Okay.
Case in point. If you go back, I'm gonna tell you, man, if people go back and watch that movie called Assault in the Ring, that guy who coached Panama had fixed his gloves. All these years he tried to lie and say he didn't know his gloves were fixed. But now he coming clean, saying that he saw Coach Panama and Coach Lee or whatever go in the bathroom with the gloves, and then came back out and he put the gloves on. When the fight was over with, Billy Carter's coach said, I believe that these gloves were tampered with, and grabbed the man's gloves. When he grabbed the man's arm, he immediately waved his hand over to Coach Panama and told Coach Panama, hey, come over here, man. You know, they want to see me about these gloves. So when they went to the dressing room, they were trying to leave and go take the gloves on somewhere else. And the referee said, no, I want to see the gloves, sir. I want you to take them gloves off so I can see what's in them gloves. When they took them gloves off, they looked inside them gloves, seen where it was cut open at, and they seen that them gloves had been tampered with. However, the boxer received 2 years, Coach Panama received 2 years in prison, right? But Coach Panama and that boxer, they can never, ever work. Coach Panama, they banned him from working in the corner of fights. And that fighter, they never gave him a boxing license again behind that. And then when he tried to become a coach, they denied him to have a coaching license. And even today, he still can't get a coach license no more. Coach Panama passed away probably about a couple of months ago. But I'm gonna refer y'all to the movie Assault in the Ring. And then that way, to all the viewers out there, y'all can see why I'm saying if you can ban the running back for football, Baltimore Ravens, former running back, for beating up his woman on the elevator, then you should be able to do that to Javante Davis, Sergey Kovalev, and many others who violate the rules of boxing.
Yeah, you know that they talk about more of what the black fighters are doing wrong in the streets, but you know, you got to look on the news or Google or something like that, and the white fighters are doing much worse things than the black fighters outside of the ring. And
you know what though?
You know.
Well, you know what though? You know what? I'm not going to use black and white foreign excuse because hey, this guy was Puerto Rican, and they banned him from being a fighter, and he wanted to be a coach, and they banned him, and they denied him to have a coaching license. And Panama Lewis, to me, yeah, I mean, he's a foreigner, but I mean, he mixed with something, but he's black, and they banned him from working corners all the way around the board. All he can do is work with fighters in the gym. That's it.
I keep hitting something. Okay.
So I'm not gonna use black and white for the excuse.
5 minutes.
That's what's wrong now. You know what I'm saying? With the world that we live in, black and white, black and white, black and white, black and white. Man, I'm so sick and tired of hearing that song. I'm so tired of hearing them lyrics right there, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick of that. I'm sick of that song called Black and White. I'm tired of them lyrics right there, man. Them lyrics right there getting old to me.
Yeah. Well, let me see something. Let me talk about, because it's almost like, let's talk about football. We can skip from boxing for a minute and go to football. How the black athletes get punished worse. They get kicked out of the sport. Well, guys like Rothenberger can go get a rape charge, and you don't hear nothing about it. When you had one of the athletes, what was the running back from Kansas City? He did something to his girlfriend or something, and he got kicked out of the sport.
Yeah.
But when you have the complexion for the protection, it gets swept under the rug, and they don't talk about it.
Yeah, sure that, and that has happened. But you know what? Since we talking about complexion, and we talking about what happened to our brothers that's playing sport or whatever, but I'm gonna just say this: how about just not put your hand on a woman? How about not misbehave out in public? And in that way, you ain't got to worry about being in trouble or banned. How about being a professional off the football field? How about following the great positive behavior? You know what? I'll tell you who football players should look up to and who they should follow. And his name never came up. His name never came up outside of football. And he played football 27 years. He was the greatest wide receiver of all times and still own all the records today. Jerry Rice. Name never came up in nothing.
Hmm.
28,000. Then you retired with 28,892 all-purpose receiving yards. You won 3 Super Bowls. He owned all records. Most yards per catch, most yards after catch, most yards from scrimmage, most catches in the game, most touchdowns in the game, most yardage in a single season, touchdowns in a single season, most Monday night receiving yards, Monday night touchdowns, postseason. I mean, yeah. So, man, yeah, man. So, it just one of the things, man. I mean, follow Joy Rice, man, and you'll be all right, man.
So is there any fights that you want to see out there right now? Like, when you want to see get in the ring?
Oh, hell yeah, man. I want to see Demetrius Andrade and Canelo. I want to see Demetrius Andrade and both Charlos. I want to see Demetrius Andrade and Billy Joe Saunders, and Demetrius Andrade and Triple G, and I was hoping I was going to see Dusty Harrison and Demetrius Andrade, but Dusty Harrison, took the easy way out, and he used COVID for the excuse, but I know why he used COVID for the excuse, because he don't want to destroy that false record he got. Those 34 wins and 1 draw, which the world watched and know that he was destroyed and battered by Mike Dallas and State of Monterey on a Rock Nation promotion card by Jay-Z. And they called it a draw. So him wanting to try to come from 147, now he want to come up to 68 to try to fight Andrade. He knew that he had bit off more than he could chew. And so he came up with the excuse of COVID. And so he somehow, some way, he was able to slither his way out the fight. Because he know that false record he got was about to be shattered. So I hope to see Andrade destroy Dusty. Fine. I hope when Dusty finally get well and he come up off that excuse train, that he finally go in and face what's staring him right in the face. An L by Andrade.
Well, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, he might be with the wrong promoter, because it seemed like since he went over there, it was already hard for him to get a fight. You know what I'm saying? He beat some of the guys in the amateurs. He beat Sean Porter. He beat what's the guy? He beat Keith Thurman in the amateurs. So they already know, you know what I'm saying, what he can do. And
and
he was supposed to get these fights when he signed over
he beat
too.
Danny Jacobs. Yeah, and list goes on. He beat Danny Jacobs in amateur. Yeah. He beat a whole lot of them in amateurs.
Yeah, and so none of them want to fight the guy. It seems like since he signed with what was it, Matchroom Boxing, Eddie Hearns, he can't get no fights. So he can't get a fight. As good as he is, it might be a talent just gonna waste away, because it seems that no one's gonna fight.
You know what? And everything you're saying just very well may be the case. But here's what I'm gonna say about that, though. Here's what I'm gonna say about that. If I was Andrade, I wouldn't let y'all try to come fight me past my prime me. I would go ahead, and if y'all don't want to fight me, and if I can't get a decent fight nowhere, I would just go ahead and walk away and retire. Because Andrade can walk away undefeated. Andrade can look at it like, you know what? I walk away undefeated. I walk away with all my faculties. I walk away, man, with a clean resume. I walk away with my belt that I won at 54. I can walk away with my belt that I won at middleweight. I can walk away knowing, man, that I tried to fight these guys and they wouldn't fight me. So you know what? I can leave. I can leave the game undefeated. And not only did I try to fight these guys and they wouldn't fight me, but the world know that these guys wouldn't fight me. So there you have it. He got nothing to hold. He will have nothing to hold his head down about. He can walk away with his head up high.
Okay, I'm trying to look at. I got call is asking for the number. I'm trying to figure out what's the number they want to call in. say it's on the screen. I don't
Yeah.
see it.
But you know something though, I'm gonna tell you something about that I'm lyric about. I wonder why all of a sudden, man, you know, they want to call in and get in on me and your conversation. You know, and I ain't saying to be disrespectful, but I'm just trying to figure out why. I mean, you know, is it something that they felt offended about what I said, or you know, are they Javante Davis followers and they don't like what I said about them? You know, because you know they probably they finally probably got a chance to meet him. They probably hung with him one night at the 930 club, and now all of a sudden, oh, Javante Davis, my man, Joe, yeah, man, woo woo, man, you can't talk about him, man, yeah, man, no bullshit. I'll roll on anybody, man, that talk about Javante, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know how some dudes is from DC, man. You know, they meet somebody one time, man, and then, man, they swear, man, oh yeah, that's my man, you know, and all this old fabulous stuff they try to pull, you know.
Yeah. I just think there's, you know, nobody's just being biased. It's just, you know, talking boxing. You know, it's boxing.
Yeah, but you know how it is, man. You know how it is, man. You know, that old some of us might eat and you know, 1133 North Capitol behavior. They be trying to pull off something, you know.
Nah, it's nothing to do with that. Yeah, they say Canelo been running from Andre and Jamel Charlo. Yeah, he said he been running from them. Canelo. Yeah, he's been doing that. I don't think if he fought either one of those guys, there's a good chance that he may lose. It's still, I think it still be a toss-up fight, no matter which one of them guys he fought. And it just seemed to me that they don't want to give those brothers that big shot at a title and getting that big payday to me, because, you know, why not put Canelo in there against at least the Charlo, you know, one of the Charlo brothers, you know, Jamel Charlo. That's a big money fight. Andrade, you know, not so big right now, but throwing him in there with the Charlo brothers, I think that's a fight that they should make. You know, if Canelo lose, his career is not over with. He's still young. It's a big money fight. He can put a rematch clause in there. So why not make that fight happen?
Yeah, true that. But I mean, hey, you know, of course, man, you know, man, he gonna duck. As I told you already, he is trying to be the next Mayweather. That's all he's trying to be, but he can't because he already lost.
Mayweather fought everybody. You know what I'm saying? Especially early on when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he fought everyone. And then he fought Canelo when he was big and strong and young. What was it, Showtime, where they gave him $220 million for a 6-fight contract. They didn't give him a 6-fight contract to fight 6 bums. You know, he fought against contenders. Every one of those guys was contenders except Andre Berto that he fought before he retired. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just tomato cans.
Well, you know, Andre Berto, he wasn't a part of that 6-fight contract. The 6-fight that he fought in the contract was he started out with Robert Guerrero. Then he went on ahead and fought Saul. Then he went on ahead and fought Madonna twice, and then he fought Pacquiao. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, and he did fight Berto. He fought Berto.
That was the last fight before he retired.
For his 49th fight. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but other than that, you know, those were contenders. Most of those guys were coming off their biggest wins, except Pacquiao, I think. But other than that, all those guys were contenders. And like I say, early on when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was pulling upsets. You know, what's the guy, the tall, skinny guy that was undefeated? He was knocking everything out.
Diego Corrales.
Yeah, Corrales. When he fought him, Floyd was the underdog. I don't know, was it 3-1 or 4-1 or something like that, and knocked the guy down 7 times.
Yeah, I saw that.
Upset and beat him. You know, he was the guy he fought twice, and they say he should have lost. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about, man, when he fought Jose Luis Castillo?
Yeah, he fought him twice. You know.
Yeah.
They think that Madonna should have beat him in the first fight. He fought him twice, dominated in the second fight.
Yeah,
So it was
exactly.
like, he earned the right to start picking and choosing, and still wasn't easy fights. They weren't gonna pay him $32 million plus pay-per-view buys for him to fight bums like they're doing with Canelo and other fighters.
Hmm. So yeah, man, it just man, I mean, hey, as I said before, man, Canelo, I mean, Saul is a non-factor. Man. He not even worth talking about.
Oh
You know,
yeah, give me a second. When he just remember when Floyd fought Gotti, I told
yeah,
Gotti he
yeah, Tony got.
dominated him, beat the hell out of him.
Well,
And Gotti
I
was
knew.
a brawler fighting in his hometown. He Atlantic City, this, that, and the third. I mean, we knew
Well,
Floyd was favored to win in that fight, but he beat him like he was drunk on the street.
I mean, hey, I knew that was what happened because hey, hand speed, hand speed differential, ring IQ. Um, Floyd, he works off the pivot. He mastered the pivot. He mastered, moving left to right, in and out. He mastered, what I'm saying, footwork, ring general shift. So I mean, it was a mismatch from the get go. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. Um, I must agree with Jim Lampley on that.
Okay.
Man, soon that fight was over, man, Jim Lampley said, man, you know what? They stopped it. And thank him. This fight was over with from the opening bell.
Okay, but
Because, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because I already knew Floyd was winning that fight the way he did, man. Man,
okay.
I mean, I always said that Floyd would destroy Antonio Gotti. Because Antonio Gotti really didn't have nothing more left anyway. Antonio Gotti did 3 wars with Mickey Ward. He fought it was one guy who was beating him up, I mean, crushing him. I mean, and all of a sudden he just threw a left hook out the corner and knocked the man out. I can't think of the guy's name, but the guy was a great fighter too. I just can't think of his name right now. Yeah, him, the 3 wars. Then he got knocked out by what's that boy, man, who I think he be wearing the fucking devil stars. Floyd beat him too. I think Floyd stopped him in the second round. Damn, what's that white boy name, man, with a bald head? Anyway, his name on the tip of my tongue. I see his face.
You say white or is it Spanish?
He a white boy, and he wore a bald head. He's a promoter now. But he knocked Antonio Gotti out in I feel like the first or second round or something. And then he turned around and he fought Floyd, and you know what I'm saying, and Floyd stopped him in the second round. Angel Man Frank.
Okay.
Yeah. Angel Man Frank. Yeah. So yeah. Man Frankie, he destroyed Gotti. So, and then Gotti fought the black dude, Patterson, whatever his name was, Patterson. Fought him, Patterson beat him. So then he started training with your boy, Buddy McGirt, and Buddy McGirt was like, "Listen, are you gonna cry about the marks on your face, or are you gonna play golf and start moving that head?" And so then he tried to learn how to box, and trying to learn how to box, and that late in the game, after you done been a brawler your whole career, that wasn't gonna be enough for Floyd, man. So basically, anybody who followed boxing should have known that. Oh man, that was a fight that you shouldn't have ordered pay-per-view for. Because you already knew what the results was going to be. Already knew Floyd was going to stop him. I thought Floyd was going to stop him earlier than that. Really.
Okay, now what about early on when nobody would fight Floyd? You know, when Prince Ahmed was on top of his game.
Shane Mosley.
Undefeated. Prince Ahmed didn't want to fight Floyd. Shane Mosley had a toothache. He didn't want to fight him. De La Hoya didn't want to fight him. He said, high risk, low reward. So, you know, all that wasn't Floyd's fault. And they say, you know, some of the guys passed their prime or whatever. That wasn't Floyd's fault. They didn't want to fight him. They knew what the results was going to be anyway.
Yeah. Because honestly, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered if Floyd came in the ring at 130. De La Hoya could have been 160, and Floyd still would have beat him. It wouldn't have mattered if Floyd would have came in the ring at 130. Shane Mosley, he could have been 47 or 54, and still would have got his ass. It's not about size. It's not about how strong you are. It's about your mind and how conditioned you are. And if you can outsmart somebody faster than them, and you can touch them before they can touch you, and your ring IQ is much more sophisticated than theirs, then you're going to win anyway.
Man. So, I want to get back into. I just want to touch back up on Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence situation. You know, like I said, I was saying earlier that I think that Earl Spence, you know, he's a bigger star. He had a better amateur background. He sells more on pay-per-view. They both have skills may be equally matched. But like I say, with Earl Spence being the bigger star, he deserves a bigger piece of the pie. And sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and, you know what I'm saying, take the 60-40. Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Oscar De La Hoya, before he crossed over and became Money Mayweather, I think it was like 70-30 or 80-20. It was one of those numbers. He took it. Now he's made more money than any body in sports. Definitely any boxer in the fighting game. So he took that, you know. If Terrence Crawford, you know what I'm saying, if he takes it, he makes the fight. He makes the fight. He can have their rematch clause. If he wins, he gets the 60 the next time around. And Earl Spence takes the 40. If they fight, it's going to be a close fight. You know, everybody has their own opinion, but me, myself, I think that Terrence Crawford will win probably by 1 or 2 points. You know, some people think that Earl Spence will win. That's why it's debatable, and it still be a close fight. You know, right. I think that he should do what he got to do. I think that his team is holding him back. His trainer, right. What's his name, Bomac, he need to just say, look, man, boom, let's take the 40%. Let's make the fight. That's what I think.
Well, you know what? It would be easy to do if he did that. But you know what? As I told you already, Terrence Crawford need to keep on gunning for high. I would not settle for less. I've won 3 world divisions. And in one of the world divisions that I won at 140, I won 2 belts at 140. I won the WBO and I won WBC. And then I went ahead and defended both of my titles against some guy named Ndingo. I forgot his name, Ndingo. I think an African brother. He had IBF. He had IBF and the WBA and the Ring Magazine. And I think he had the IBO too. He went ahead and unified with him, beat him, and he became the undisputed 140-pound champion of the world. So, and then his first trip to 147, he won the WBO welterweight title in his first trip to 147. At 35, he beat Ricky Burns for the WBO 135-pound belt. So you know, if I was Terrence Crawford, I would not settle for less. If I'm not going to make the same kind of money that Floyd made when Floyd fought Conor McGregor, when Floyd made when he fought Pacquiao, then you know what? I would tell Earl Spence, I see you in my next life. Bottom line.
But
Because,
it still would be the most money he's ever made. This fight right here, and like I said, many of them, you know, they bite the bullet and they take the fight to move up to the next level and become the big cash cow.
Right, but listen to me though. Why fight Earl Spence for 10, 20 million, or 30 million, or 45 million, or 50 million, when you already making $6, $7, $8 million fighting bums, and you're the biggest thing that ever came out of Omaha, Nebraska, other than the college football team? You're the promoter there. You control all the money there, and so and then you got an executive contract with ESPN. Why would you put all that on the line to fight Earl Spence for less?
Because
he's already making. He's already making more money than what he would make fighting Earl Spence. He's already making that amount in fucking 7 fights.
Yeah, but that's a whole lot of fights. You know what I'm saying? When he can get it in one fight. Let's say if he gets in there and they decide to put him in there with Keith Thurman, that's a big risk. And he take an L. And Earl Spence gets in there and fights Pacquiao and knocks Pacquiao out. Earl Spence is the cash cow. Now, if he was to try to fight Earl Spence then, it'd be 80-20. Or there will not be no fight. So, right now, while he got the chance to just snatch the fight up, take the 40%, he can do it.
Right.
Later on, I agree. He may suffer loss. If Earl, he wants to fight Canelo, if he fights him, he has a chance to beat him, but I think Canelo's too big, too strong, and he probably beat Earl. The fight just gets screwed up. You know what I'm saying? Won't be worth the money anymore. If one of them guys go out there and just make a mistake and take on the wrong guy and lose.
Right. So you know what? And I agree with you 100% or 13%, Reed. I listened to you carefully, and I had time to digest everything you said, and I got it. I get where you're going at. I get where you're coming from, and I just want to say to you, hey, it's agreed, but I also want to tell you to hold your next thought, because here is the right hand right here that I'm about to hit you with. That's why I just said, because he's already making that, he already making a lot of money fighting multiple fights, and he got that big executive contract with ESPN, and he's a promoter in Omaha, Nebraska, and the fact that he's undefeated, and like I told you in our first meeting on YouTube, I told you that zero is a very important thing in boxing today and outside the ring. That if Terrence Crawford retired tonight and said, I don't want to fight no more, guess what? Terrence Crawford could eat off that zero for the rest of his life. And so, with that being said, I wouldn't take no risks. I would let Keith Thurman and Earl Spence and Sean Porter and all of them have fun, fight each other. And then when they are done and they may have lost again, or Earl Spence may have finally lost or whatever, then the fight will be on my terms. Why he has a chance to use the Floyd Mayweather approach and the Roy Jones approach to the sport, when Roy Jones was at his reign and he was undefeated before he got robbed by Montel Griffin by being disqualified, and before he started getting knocked out, Roy Jones was able to bring all the money to his city and State. You know what I'm saying? Pensacola, Florida. He started, instead of him doing business with Don King, he had all this fights to be in Florida. For a while, he was making a lot of money in Florida. You know what I'm saying? Roy Jones made Florida the new MGM. Floyd Mayweather did a thing on the road and off the road, and then when he finally got to Vegas, he made Vegas his home. So if I was Terrence Crawford, I wouldn't worry about doing business with Al Heyman and none of them. I would keep all the business and I would keep all the money in Omaha. I wouldn't worry about fighting none of them guys yet. I would just stay away from them guys.
Well, they're both getting older. What's Terrence Crawford? 32, 33? So, when you I feel like they should take the maximum pay, and then, like I say, if he beats Earl, then he gets another fight. You know what I'm saying? He can win twice and retire. But, or we want to keep on fighting Bob Byrne. Don't really want to promote him no more. His promoter's talking smack about him. I believe he's putting himself in a bad spot. And he's talking smack about his promoter. It's like he's, now they talking about he might fight a bum, some dude I ain't never even heard of, if he don't get the Keith Thurman fight. So if there's no Earl fight, no Keith Thurman fight, we get some dude never even heard of. And ain't nobody gonna pay for that.
I mean, but hey, man, you know what? Hey, if Floyd could fight who he wanted to fight, if Roy Jones was able to fight who he wanted to fight, if De La Hoya was able to fight who he wanted to fight when he wanted to fight him, then Terrence Crawford has the right to do it too. And Earl Spence got a right to do it too. Earl Spence don't have to fight Terrence Crawford to really call himself a star. Earl Spence can go to 54 or middleweight and punish Kenneth. If he punished Saul.
Yeah, in the comments they said Bud don't want to take. Bud don't want to take 40%. But like I say, you got to look up. Well, like I said, we all have our own opinion. Everybody, a lot of people say they wouldn't take it. But like I said, a lot of people got to look at what Floyd took when he fought De La Hoya. I'm sure Floyd didn't want to take, the 30% or the 20% that he took, because he didn't make, when he fought De La Hoya, he didn't make but about $20, $30 million. But after that, it paid off. He became a cash cow right after that fight. And that's the same thing that Terrence can do. And I think that he would do it. Like I said, I think that he'd beat Earl by 1 or 2 rounds. So why not take the fight? That's just my opinion. Like I said, we're all entitled to one. It's a toss-up fight. Many people say they wouldn't take it. But with his situation, with the promoter thing, and promoter throwing him under the bus, it's like, okay, what's the plan? I'm thinking maybe he's waiting till his contract run out, and maybe he's gonna sign with Floyd or something, because they've been talking to him too. Floyd Mayweather, Leonard Allaby, so maybe he's gonna sign with them, then make the fight. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna just say this, man. Only time will tell. And you know what? If I was Terrence Crawford, I wouldn't side with Floyd. If I was Terrence Crawford, I would be my own man, and I would form Terrence Crawford Promotions. I wouldn't side with nobody.
Well, or maybe you should go Al Heyman. Al Heyman is like the godfather of the sport. You sign with Al, you get all the fights you want. Yeah. All the big money.
Al Heyman,
and the fights.
Right. Al Heyman, he can use Al Heyman for advisor.
Well, that's what Gary Russell been doing, but, he ain't been getting the fights he want.
Yeah. Well, we're also, Al Heyman, he blackballed Gary, too.
Well, I don't know much about that situation there, but
well, put like this. I don't know about the situation, but that was supposed to be the rumor that that Gary, he got blackballed. I heard it on one of those YouTube channels. I forgot what YouTube channel was talking about it. I forgot who it was, but it was one of them that was saying supposedly that Gary got blackballed. And then I heard Barbershop talk.
Oh, you heard the Fred Barbershop conversation?
No. I don't know who Fred Barbershop is. I'm talking about the barbershop, man, that you should go to. I heard guys talking about this stuff. But again, for YouTube viewers that's listening or that will be commenting, I don't know nothing about the Gary and Al Heyman situation. All I said was this was barbershop talk. However, I have no evidence. I know nothing about it. But, you know, as I said to Rick earlier, I hope that Gary will get a chance to fight Devin Haney and all the guys that he sold his eye. I hope those fights will happen in the near future. You know what I mean? But for now, hey.
Yeah, then a comment just came in about, you know, Crawford don't like promoting himself. He don't. He rarely likes to talk or say anything. So that's the thing about that, too. You know, if he was to be his own man, how would he sell a fight? He doesn't like to talk at all. So a guy like that needs a promoter. Somebody, if he had to sign with Golden Boy, because he doesn't like to talk. He doesn't know how to promote a fight at all. Can't sell a fight unless somebody got to promote it.
Yeah, true that. You're right. So, you know, it's just all a matter of time, man. You know, and for Errol Spence should have settled for less. If Errol Spence should look at it like this, man, I'm gonna put it all on the line. I'm gonna put my zero on the line, my name and reputation, and my body on the line. For less, fuck no. Man, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, if it was me, and I was either one of their managers, or if I was promoted in the middle, I would tell them. I would say, look here, y'all. I know I'm promoting, I want to make a fight, but it's up to y'all to fight. Both of y'all should ask the boxing world to help yourself. Say on TV, hey, we'll fight each other. If you want to give us at least about $300-400 million a piece, we can do
it. They ain't gonna get that. You know, we got the pandemic going on. You know what I'm saying? They ain't getting a live gate. Promoters lose money.
But listen, if the world really want to see them two fight, then they'll do what Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford say do, or else it won't be a fight. Because if they gonna put their body and brain and health and zero and reputation on the line, don't do it for pennies. I would break the bank. Floyd broke the bank.
The money was around, and Floyd's a pay-per-view star. Even without a promoter, Floyd never had a promoter. He been promoting himself since he was Pretty Boy Floyd. He was always the talker. Look at you know, in the comments they talking about AB. AB is he's a great example of promoting himself. Yeah, AB, he don't need no promoter. You know what I'm saying? AB can be a bum. He can get 5 more losses, and he's still gonna sell the fight because people want to see him get his ass kicked because he talks so much shit and he knows how to sell the fight. He knows how to sell himself.
Hey, well, hey, man, I guess, man, in the world won't see Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford because, man, if man, either one of them, they deserve more than what they were. I love both of them. They both are my favorite fighters. I'm not going to root for neither one of them. I'm going to just sit back. Well, this night going to be the first night in a long time that I can say I actually sit back. Other than when I watched Bernal and De La Hoya, this will be the first time in a long time that I can say I actually sit back and I was neutral. And I won't say nothing the whole fight, and I just watch both of them. You know what? And the better man win. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh,
the better man win.
Oh, it would
the
definitely
better man win. I just say this: the better man win, and coming with that is this. Like my wife told me a long time ago, boxing is a racket. They already know who they want to win. And so, with that being said, whoever they want to win that night is who they want to win. But I hope for all that is worth and for all the hype around it, I hope that be a fight that will be treated fairly. I hope the decision will go to whoever really wanted to fight fair. Again, I'm a neutral fan that night. And if it's a fair fight all around the board, the better man wins. And that's all I'm going to say. If it happened. But I don't got to happen. I got them being 38 going on 40 years old when it finally happened.
Well, that might end up being the case. But I think once the contract is up, he going to sign with somebody. And I think the fight will finally get made later this year when his contract is up. That's what I feel on that. Anyway, I want to bring up Lomachenko. You know, he's in the news. He's 0-0 now. I'm reading the different boxing outlets. They're saying that he feels that he was robbed in the fight.
Yeah, he was robbed.
Well, everybody's like I say, on my opinion, everybody got their own opinion. I feel like he gave away the first 5-6 rounds. I feel like he made one round. He started winning the late rounds. Therefore, he was already down in the fight. All that running and dancing. And you know, the other guy was landing the cleaner, harder shots, while Lomachenko was running, dancing. So I feel like, you know, he took a loss. You don't lose 6 rounds, 6 or 7 rounds. How you gonna win the fight unless you knock the other guy down a couple times or knock him out? He lost first 5. He may have won. The first round was a toss-up. It could have went either way. After that, he was losing because he wasn't landing the shots. He was just moving, running, slipping. Okay, the guy couldn't touch him, but he was touching him just enough to win the round.
Okay.
Harder, cleaner shots. Well, later on, Lomachenko was landing. He was winning. He may have won the last 4 rounds. Maybe 5 rounds most, tops. 5 rounds. That means he lost the fight.
Okay. Well, can I say this?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, he was the huge favorite to win. He was 4-1 favorite to win the fight. A lot of people were going betting on the other guy to beat him to win big money on him. I didn't know much about the other guy. You know what I'm saying? To beat him.
I'm gonna tell you this.
I thought he was just a brawler. When I seen him box him, I was like, damn.
All right, I'm gonna tell you this. That fight right there, it wasn't won. That fight was not won based on who won rounds, who landed punches, who you know what I'm saying, who outdid who. That fight was already won before it got to the ring. Go back and look at the gambling odds.
Gambling odds were favoring Lomachenko 4-1.
No, man.
4-1.
They already had Teofimo favored to win that fight.
Teofimo was never favored. The gambling odds were 4-1. You're not gamble. I go bet USA every day. 4-1 odds. There's no way a young up and coming fighter is gonna be favored over a champion. It was 4-1 odds.
Well, that's not true about young fighters can't be favored over champions, because if you go back.
I'm not saying it never can happen, but I'm just saying.
If you go back to Tim Bradley's first meeting with Pacquiao, Tim Bradley lost that fight, but they already had Bradley 4-1 odds over Pacquiao. They already had they always did a fight to Bradley anyway.
I didn't know.
Anything short of a knockout, they was gonna give it to Teofimo anyway.
Well, Teofimo, and I didn't know about his amateur. You know, I'm getting in the comment section. I'm reading. I didn't know who he was. I didn't follow him in the amateurs. I didn't even know that him and Devin Haney had fought 6 times in the amateur ranks. And Teofimo Lopez.
No.
I'm getting mixed up. I'm thinking of Ryan Garcia. Yeah, Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney fought 6 times in the amateurs. So yeah, I didn't know who Teofimo was. I wasn't watching them. I seen some highlights a couple times. They were knockouts, but I still had never watched them fight until they kept talking on the boxing outlet, 78 Sports, Blue Blood Sports, barbershop conversation with Fred. They were all saying that that young guy, Teofimo, was going to pull an upset and beat Lomachenko. And I didn't know who he was. I was like, okay, all I did is look at the odds, and he was, underdog 4-1. I'm like, who's this guy? I just seen him knock a couple guys out. Never seen him fight. But yeah, but Lomachenko, people look at him like he's a bum now, or something like that. No, he's not a bum. He's still a very gifted fighter that can bounce back and still beat a lot of guys. Fight with Theo. Yeah, Theo is real popular. Yeah, Theo, he's popular. Yeah, Devin Haney. Yeah, Devin Haney. Yeah, he do want to fight with Teofimo, but Teofimo, him and his dad in line. They saying they sent the contract over to Devin Haney and what's the promoter? Maximum Boxing. I be forgetting the promoter's name sometimes, but they saying they sent the contract over to them. And Bill Haney, they never sent nothing to Bill. Never sent nothing. It's all
kept. Eddie Hearns, man.
Eddie Hearns. They haven't sent anything. It's all capped right now. I don't think any of the guys want to face Devin Haney. I think that he would beat any of those guys, but I think it's a high risk for many of them and a low reward. But I think that Teofimo fight there, I think they'll both get paid a decent amount of money if they made that fight. And Teofimo was like talking like he wanted to smoke with everybody, wanted to fight any and everybody, leading up to the Lomachenko fight and beating him, and saying he'd fight everybody. And then once he got the belt, settled in for a minute, I don't know who got in his ear, and then he's just playing games. So, I don't know what's going to happen with that. I would like to see that fight, and I would like to see the Ryan Garcia and the Tank fight made. That would be 2 good fights that we can get this year. That can be, the Devin Haney fight. I think Devin wins. I think that the fight may be good for 4 or 5 rounds, and then Devin dominates. After that, like I said, the Ryan Garcia fight, my take on it, I think that, if he can use his height, his reach, fight at a distance, and he will have a chance to beat Tank. But Tank gets on the inside and hits him the same way that he got hit against that guy he fought. That's it. He going to sleep. He ain't getting back up. So that's I think it's a good fight. Both of those guys make a lot of money off of that fight. Ryan Garcia very, very popular. He got millions. I forgot how many millions he got. Millions of fans and everything. So his popularity sells the fight. I like to see both of those fights made.
Yeah.
Oh, they said Bob Burns in his ear. Yeah, I bet Bob Burns a cheap, sneaky old bastard. I see why Keith Thurman wanted to punch him in the face.
That's why I say Terrence Crawford. See, that's why I need people to understand what I'm saying, man. I know what I'm talking about, man. Bob Hearn robbed Pacquiao of his legacy twice. Bob Hearn robbed Pacquiao against Bradley twice. Against Bradley the first time. Bob Hearn robbed Pacquiao against Horn over there in Sydney, Australia when he fought him. It's like every time Pacquiao was in his room with Bob Arum know he don't got no cash cow. So what he'll do is he'll get with the people and then rob your ass so he can sign you again.
Yeah,
Man,
32
Bob
Wolves.
Arum,
32
Bob
Wolves.
Arum is no good. And so with that being said, Terrence Crawford need to go ahead and just promote himself and build Crawford Promotions and leave it like that. And he should not deal with nobody. He should just keep all the money in Omaha. As long as he stay undefeated and keep winning belts and keep winning weight classes,
you're right.
Somebody is going to call him and kiss his butt.
But you know, he was in the comments. He robbed Crawford of the Pacquiao fight. You know, when he signed Crawford, when he re-signed Crawford, he promised him the Pacquiao fight. You know, the first time he didn't want Pacquiao to fight him. Oh, that's my friend. I don't want to see him get hurt. Right. And he never got the Pacquiao fight. Right, and he already robbed Crawford by doing that. Yeah. So if Crawford can't tell the sun from the rain, there's something wrong with Terrence Crawford. Then he talked bad about Terrence Crawford on live TV. Yeah, he threw him right under the bus. So I mean, for real, that's just like, man, I ain't gonna lie. When I was doing construction, then again, I won't use me for example. I use this other guy I know for example, who's on the construction site. Okay. This guy, he was a great worker, just like me. We came to work every day. We was compatible. Me and him together could get a whole site done in 3 hours. We could turn an 8-hour job to 3 hours. That's how in sync me and him was with each other, as far as working. The supervisor, the foreman we was working for, before I became foreman, and safety superintendent, and the list goes on and on. The foreman had a nerve one day to literally frown his nose up and shine on the guy I'm talking. Talked about him like he wanted nothing to his face and for everybody to hear. Right? Then had the nerve to try to come and gonna try to ask that man to do something. I tapped him on the shoulder. He looked at me. I walked off. Turned around, he told that foreman, he said, look here. Since I'm all what you said I am, and this, that, and this, that, how about you do it yourself? You get in that manhole and you lay the instant concrete yourself. Since I'm not doing this and that. When I come to work every day and I do my job and I got Kareem and everybody else to vouch for me. Because me and Kareem in the union and me and Kareem is complimentary of each other's work. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. You know, so yeah, so in Terrence Crawford and Bob Arum, episode is that, which make it similar, is that now it's about boxing, and Bob Arum was talking down to him, man, like he won nothing. So this is why I say you need to know the difference between rain and sun. He need to know the difference between dry sand and mud and quicksand. He need to know the difference, man. You know, he need to know. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, this man ain't for me. He's no good for my career. Let me go ahead and leave. That's all he got to do. He can leave, and then he can keep all the money in Omaha, Nebraska, and be his own promoter and run his own promotion. And then he can get fighters and sign fighters to his promotional deal, and then he can start promoting and managing fighters himself while he's a fighter. He can go ahead and retire for a minute and just juggle
other fighters and build them. And then come back when something is sweet, something that he can win, easy belt he can win, and then, come back for a little while, he can win. He can go to 54 and win. He can go to 160 and win. He can go to 68 and win. He can go to light heavyweight, cruiserweight, heavyweight, whatever weight he decides he want to go up or down. If Roy Jones can do it, he can do it too. If Ray Leonard can be a welterweight to go away light heavyweight and win, he can do it too. If Sugar Ray Robinson can be a lightweight who went up to light heavyweight and he lost because he couldn't continue because it was so hot out there when he fought Joey Maximum. He couldn't continue out of the 14th round because he was very dehydrated and exhausted. You know what I'm saying? If Sugar Ray Robinson and Sugar Ray can do it and Roy Jones can do it, then Terrence Crawford, he can do the same. Keep building that statement beside your name, man. Pound for pound. Pound for pound, to me, holds more weight than unified champion. The only thing that can outweigh pound for pound, to me, would be undisputed. But Terrence Crawford already was, not only is he a three world weight class, not only is he a 3-weight world division champion, but in one of the weight classes he became the undisputed champion. So basically, his Hall of Fame status is already set. If he retired today, 4 or 5 years from now, he'll be going to the Hall of Fame anyway. So he's already did the unthinkable. That's why I wouldn't trip about fighting Earl Spence. I wouldn't trip off Keith Thurman. I wouldn't even worry about fighting Pacquiao. I would just keep beating up on guys who I see in the barbershop, guys who I see on the basketball court. You know what I'm saying? And guys, young guys who's always trying to get me to go buy them a single cigarette from the corner store. You know what I'm saying? I would just keep beating up on guys like that, and keep making $4-5 million off guys like that a piece. And I would just keep my legacy and keep that zero intact. Because I would realize, hey, that zero is more important than me taking a risk to fight anybody. Because one day I'm going to retire, and I'm going to still need to eat. And with that zero, he can eat forever. He can open undefeated barbershop. He can open undefeated clothing line in Omaha. He can open for women. He can open undefeated hair and nail salon. It's a whole lot of things he can do with undefeated. He can open an undefeated movie theater in Omaha, undefeated car dealership. It's a lot that, you could do with undefeated. He could come he could say, I want to come down to DC and I want to come to some of these junior high schools. And I want to give a speech, man, to all the kids, man, I want to give a speech to all the kids about how important it is to stay out of trouble, how important it is to listen to your mother and father, and how important education is. And you know what? He can make down there probably $10, $20, $30 million just for making trips to school in DC. So it's a lot you can do with that zero, man. A lot of positive things you can do with that zero. That's why I wouldn't take the risk. Do that make sense to you and to all the viewers that's listening on YouTube?
Yeah, it's a lot you can do with it, But like I say, that's all up to him. Like I say, he's already was he 32 years old? You got to think about if he sit back and he open up all these different things, businesses and stuff like that, and start promoting fighters and doing these different things. And like I said, once again, he can, if he had a promotional company, he's going to still have to, get someone else to run it because he doesn't even like to talk. So he would have to get the company and get someone else with promotional skills to run this company because you can't be a promoter if you don't like to talk. But like I said, it's all up to him. I just think when you're young, saying you go for it and you generate, the most money you can, so that when you're old, if you can be like Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather, he really don't have to fight ever again, but he do it because the big money is out there. So he jumps and fights a YouTuber, fights, MMA fighter, and this, that, and the third. But he really don't have to do that because he's promoting and he has his fighters are really boring because really all he has is Javante Davis for real. I mean, I think Floyd has over 30 or 40 fighters that don't nobody know nothing about. And the only fighter generating the big bucks for him is Javante Davis. Even though Floyd, he promotes, but he just, nobody's signing with him like that, And the guys that are signed, don't nobody want to pay to see. So,
Yeah,
okay, he said, oh, is he a regular part of the show? Yeah, he started from the beginning. Yeah, okay, he's 33 years old. Yeah, so Terrence Crawford already being 33, time, the clock is ticking. Everybody don't have longevity like Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather rarely gets hit, take care of himself, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. If you go back, most time boxing careers are over with at like 32, 33. That's when they start taking the most damage, getting beat up. Young guys up and coming, they use you for a stepping stone. So, he's at the point in his career now where he needs the big fights so he can cash out, and if he take a loss or whatever, he has enough money to relax, run, invest, and don't have to get back into the ring.
Well, it's all matter of time, man. I really just hope. Whatever decision, man, that Terrence Crawford makes for his career, I just hope it be one, man, that he can live with, and it won't be no excuse when it's over with. Because
he the co-host. I was saying, letting the viewers know that you the co-host of the show. Yeah, his name in the description. He the co-host of this show. I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna learn how to, because I'm new at doing my live. I'm starting to do it more. I'm gonna learn how to get some of you guys in on the calls. I'm gonna mess around with it probably tomorrow or whatever. But yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so to me it's just like whatever decision Terrence Crawford make, whatever decision Earl Spence make, I just hope it be a decision that they both can live with, and they don't make no excuses and blame nobody else but themselves. Simple as that. Because I'm tired of the excuses. I'm almost to the point that it's already a very unfair sport and a brutal credit sport. It's a sport that it cares nothing about nobody. So I'm talking about, man, it hurts people's families. People's families get hurt who not even in the ring boxing. But because your family can clearly see, man, they're using Rodriguez.
Give me a second. Kareem, hold on 1 second. 1 second, Kareem. Yeah, Dave, I wanted to get you on the show today with us, but I'm gonna get you on tomorrow. That's why I hit you up. I don't know if you've seen in the comments, and then I hit you up. I text you too. I text you too. Read your text messages early on when I hit you up. I hit you up today. Yeah, come on tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You free tomorrow? I need you to come on. You know what I'm saying? Get in on the conversation. Go ahead, Kareem.
Yeah. So this sport, man, is it's so brutal, man, that fighters' families get hurt by this, man. because they can clearly see, man, that you being used. You are just
That's
a
what I
fighter,
wanted.
man.
I'm hearing you. I'm listening to you and responding back to comments at the same time.
Yeah. You know, they, your own family can see that you being used. Your own family can see that you you just a piece of beef that they throwing around. Like I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if you watch. Did you watch that movie Creed?
Yeah.
Did you watch Creed Part 1?
1 and 2.
Remember, and I think it was Part 2. Remember the white guy who was fighting, and they said the only way, man, that he can see his wife and his kids as if he take this fight. You notice every time he lose a fight, the guy who was playing as Don King, instead of saying, "Are you okay?" You know what I'm saying, you need to see the doctor. First thing he's doing is telling to the dressing room about the very next fight he's gonna fight. You know, and his wife and kids saw this and was like, "Oh my God, man," and was highly upset with him and didn't want to be bothered with him anymore because they realized, man, that he was being used as a piece of beef. The same thing with Rocky. His wife in Rocky was starting to get very highly disturbed and didn't want to be Rocky no more because she could clearly see he was taking the chance that it wasn't worth it. Juanita, Sugar Ray's ex-wife. After Sugar Ray had got his hour messed up, she was like, "You got enough money, let's just leave. Why do you keep fighting? Why do you keep risking yourself?" So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, the list goes on and on. You know, the sport of boxing destroys families, if you get my point.
Well, that's why I say like this. You get in a game and you try to take it's hit and don't get hit. Takes the least amount of punishment, and you want to generate the most income. So therefore, in the sport of boxing, when the big fights are out there, and it's saying a good amount, you take it. So that way you can put you and your family in a good position. Other than that, you stay in the sport, mismanage your money. You get hurt, keep taking punishment, keep blowing your money, no investments, not paying nothing off, and just end up a broke bum, taking fights, coming back again, fighting for less and less money, getting damaged more and more.
Oh, yeah. And you know what else? You know what? To educate our listeners and viewers on YouTube who's going to be hearing this conversation, I want to further educate y'all about the brutal sport that we're talking about and how it destroys families. I need y'all to, when y'all get a chance, I need y'all to either go to YouTube or y'all can order it. Y'all can order the DVD online. It's called Sugar Ray Robinson's Bright Lights and Dark Shadows. If you watch that documentary right there, it will tell you everything that we're talking about. How fraudulent this game, how brutal this game is, and how dirty this sport really can get. If you go back and watch Sugar Ray Robinson's Bright Lights and Dark Shadow, it'll tell you all about it. You also, if y'all listened to me earlier, y'all can go and watch the DVD, or y'all can watch it on YouTube, or it may be on y'all DVR, or if y'all go to Netflix, it could be on there. Assault in the Ring. The situation with the coach, Panama Lewis, and his fighter. I forgot his fighter name, but yeah, I don't want to tell y'all the movie, but I may have already gave y'all the main details as I was speaking to Rick earlier. But if y'all go watch that movie, y'all can further understand what we're talking about. Creed Part 2 and Part 1 is another great example. Rocky is another great example. Yeah. It's bigger than just throwing punches. It's bigger than seeing somebody get knocked out.
Well, that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in to the channel. And we will see you all on the next episode.
Wait. I want to say this. Before you go. Because here's another point that I want to make to the viewers and the listeners on YouTube that's going to be hearing this conversation. I want to get this off my chest. I want to say this one more thing about Gervonta Davis. But before I say this, I want to say this to everybody that's listening. The next time, male or female, y'all just having a casual conversation with them at work, casual conversation at the club, or casual conversation, at the bus stop, or, at the Starbucks, or the wherever. However the meeting takes place. Sometimes people start conversations with total strangers. It happens all the time. People talk to me where I work at every day, and I don't even know their names. But, I'm a people's person. I'm very polite, so I draw that type of arena to myself because, of the way I carry myself, and I'm very professional at work. And I do such a great job, and people notice that, and people come to me and they want to talk to me, and they want to understand, why am I so humble? Why am I the way I am? Why am I so forward and truthful and polite at the same time? I guess they call it nice and nasty. But I'll just say that Gervonta, tell y'all an episode about him, a personal episode that me and my wife had with him. Me and my wife was at the convention center at the American fight when American fought Lamar Peterson. And whether DC wants to carry this baby or not, they have to, except that American beat up Lamar Peterson before his whole fans. He out-quicked Lamar the whole night. He landed more punches than Lamar, and he dropped Lamar twice. It shouldn't be a slip in that second knockdown because Lamar was going down anyway, and his foot curled around American leg to try to keep himself up. But he was going down anyway from a right hand and left hook. So, anyway, I brought me and my wife front row seats. We were sitting in seats 6 and 5. I want to say 6 and 5 Q row, 7 section. Since seat 6 and 5, we were sitting there at ringside watching the fight. And so Gervonta Davis was up here that day before I even knew his name. He was up here that day. No, he was down here that day. And he him and some guys from Headbangers and another guy who was sitting in front of us who later got knocked out by my boy Ramirez on Friday Night Fights, a guy named Mike Yes Indeed Reed. He was sitting in front of us, and Desmond and all the other guys from Headbangers who Gervonta was down here with, were standing up in the back, up against the wall, and they didn't have any seats. So me and my wife had seats. Me and my wife was sitting right beside Americon's dad and Americon's uncle on the same row. And also, Ert Gomez, which is the Golden Boy partner, was sitting on that same row with us. So, all of a sudden, Mike Reed say, "Hey, man, you know something, man? You from DC?" I said, "Yeah, I'm from DC." He said, "Yeah, man, Dad, man, so y'all go with American?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Hey, man, we ain't going for the homie." So, my Reed looked, gave us a thumbs up and started laughing. I guess he was like, "Hey, they fans, they pay me who they want to see." So after that, my Reed ain't say nothing. He enjoyed the show like we did. All of a sudden, here come Javante, being a nitwit, if you will, had a nerve to say, "Y'all from DC and y'all root for American?" And I turn around and I say, "Yeah, I paid seats for us to sit at ringside to root for who we want to root for. That's why y'all standing up with no seats." So then he come back with, "What? Man, who you talking to? Man, I'm from 58 and woo. And the whole time, at this time, I didn't know he was from Baltimore. But this day, you claiming 58th Street Southeast. You claiming DC this day. Why? Because you're up here with a bunch of DC guys and you trying to fit in? Oh, okay. I guess that was the size of it. So my wife turned around and said to him, she said, "You from 58? He said, "Yeah, I'm from 58. Yeah, that's said I claim. Yeah, I'm repping 58, woo, this, that, and yeah, man, we go hard and woo. Man, my wife made him look dumber than he looked. She asked him, she said, "Oh, yeah, so 58 is your set that you claiming, right?" And so she said, "What was 58 before it became a set that you decided to claim?" This fool almost mumbled. No, this fool mumbled and said the monument. My wife said, "No. 58 used to be a farm? No. It used to be a farm and a forest and also a swamp back in the 30s and the 40s. So, you from where now? You claiming something that you don't even know." So, I'm saying this to the viewers and listeners that if you ever meet somebody and they tell you or they claim on the set, ask them, what was that set? What's the history of that set they claiming? What it used to be before it became a set they claim. And see, can they tell you that? So if you meet somebody and they tell you he's from Kennedy Street or from Film Kennedy, ask them what Film Kennedy used to be. If you meet somebody, he tell you, "Oh, I'm from 640, Lord and Morton." Ask them what 640 used to be. Ask them what the history was behind it. If you meet somebody and they say, "Oh yeah, I'm from First Street," ask them what First Street used to be before it be a set they claim. If you meet somebody that said they're from Trinidad, ask them what Trinidad Avenue used to be before it became a set that they're trying to claim. Because a lot of them out there try to claim sets and all this stuff, but they don't know the history. They don't know the history behind this set they claiming them. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people claiming stuff that they don't even know what it used to be. That's why when people ask me, and like I always did, when people ask me, "Where am I from?" I'm a Washington. Enough said. I don't claim no sets. I'm not about that. I never have been about that. I'm from Washington, D.C. That's it, and that's all. Cut and dry. So the very next time that y'all meet somebody who want to claim sex, ask them what it used to be. And don't let them go to their cell phone and go to Google neither. Tell them to put their cell phone down and tell you what they used to be. Right there, right in front of you. Don't let them pick the phone up and try to go to Google. Because they're famous for that. People use Google to cheat on tests today. And that's all I got to say about that.
Okay. Well, with that being said, I wanna thank all the viewers for tuning in. Kareem, thank you for co-hosting the show. And I just want to say hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and see you all next time. Thank you.